Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Daily Masters cast, and we are going to be going back to the South Korea regional finals for the WCS Season 2. And we've got a couple more players which we have not seen before. So we're going to start off with Bbyong down the bottom right side of the map. He is a Terran player. He plays for the CG Entus team. And he's not doing too bad in the WCS. His ranks number 67 at 575 points. So he's got to be feeling pretty good about himself in this game. And yes, he is a pretty awesome Terran player. So of course, pretty much every South Korean player in this tournament is pretty good. So yeah, it's just going to come down to what sort of crazy stuff they do. And of course, up the top left side, we do have a blue Protoss player flying. He is obviously from South Korea. He does not actually have a team, and I'm actually reading on Wikipedia that he is actually retired. I believe he retired less than a month after this game was cast. So yeah, a little bit sad, but obviously he just didn't want to play anymore. So that's, yeah. What can you say about that? We can say that he played an awesome game right now, and yeah, we will see exactly how this game went down. But at the time that he finished playing, he was at rank number 70 in the WCS with 550 points, so that is pretty awesome. I actually cast a game before against two other players. I think it was Bbyong, I think it was, and Fantasy, and that was looking to be a really awesome game, but unfortunately the game finished halfway through, just in the middle of it. I think they must have had like server problems or something like that, and the game just crapped out. And yeah, they did a restart of the game. I think they restarted from a midpoint in the game, like there's a new thing in Heart of the Swarm where you can actually restart in the middle of the game, and I think they did that, but that would have messed up my car, so I just said, you know, whatever, I'm not going to do that. Here we go, Bay going to be blocking this thing very nicely. I'm guessing Bay is the best health per resources sort of cost building that you can create. And flying, getting him out of there nice and quickly, not letting him complete that as much as he can. And just going to start getting an attack on that. The Mothership Core will help quite a bit, as well as the first Stalker that comes out to take that out. But you cannot deny that flying is going to be a bit upset about that, yeah, not being able to get that Nexus out. And I don't think he's quite upset enough that would have caused him to retire, but it's definitely a little bit of upset here. And the Mothership Core already out, so this Reaper's going to be like, ah, crap. He's going to try and move around to try and sneak past, but with a Stalker coming out as well. There we go, instantly flagged on this Reaper, and going to be chasing him all over the place. This Reaper is not going to be able to stay alive. He's a little bit faster than the Stalker, but he's trying to run circles around him, so he's not getting the distance that he needs. Meanwhile, the Bay finally going to go down. It is cancelled at the last second. Very nice job there from Bbyong, and the Nexus finally going down, but that is going to be quite a bit delayed now. And flying instead is going to have to do something else. Maybe a couple more extra gateways he can get out. Maybe just go for his tech a little bit faster. He does have the robotics facility up, but I feel like he would have got that up at the 5.5 minute mark anyway, even with the expansion going down a lot faster. The Stalker's coming in. He cannot outrange the bunker, unfortunately, so it's just going to be backing off a little bit. But I mean, Flying knows that there is a fast expansion out for Bbyong, and he probably expected as much anyway, but now he knows for sure, which is always going to be good. SCV coming around here, just doing a bit of scout, watching for a third base. I'm not sure why he'd be watching for a third base, but he's going to give it a look anyway. Maybe he's watching for Flying to be proxy piloting himself, something like that, I don't know. But the SCV is just going to be having a bit of a scout. The Stalker going to finish that guy off nice and quickly, and a whole bunch of workers transferring out to the expansion. So yeah, there's a lot of them, because obviously he was very close to capacity on this base. Forge coming out nice and quickly, Observer coming out nice and quickly, And now we're going to be seeing what flying is going to be doing for his tech options. Very, very high chance that he will be getting a robotics bay out to start getting out some Colossus. But we may also be seeing a Twilight Council for some eventual Storm. We may even be seeing some early to mid-game play involving a large amount of Stalkers and perhaps an Immortal or two to try and finish this off nice and early. But do not know if that is going to happen. We do have another... This is his original factory, so yeah, I kept expecting it to be like Stargate at this point, but Starport, but it does look like he has gone through a lot of early barracks to try and get his barracks tech up nice and quickly. These guys, they don't have shields yet, so this looks like this stim is the first thing they're going to be getting out. The Observer seeing all that. Here comes the Starport, and Bbyong in a nice position to try and put some early pressure on flying. One of the things you'll notice about Protoss players is they do not generally go for a lot of early army units. They generally go for the tech first, and then once they got their tech all worked out, they start putting down the extra gateways. So for the longest time, they are just building units off one gateway. And then they start to get out the extra gateways once their tech really, really starts to get stuck into it. So Twilight Council coming down, and that is almost certainly, well, I don't know. I mean, I would have expected a robotics bay to be down by now. The fact that he's gone for a Twilight Council but not a robotics bay, I'm not sure. He's going for Zealot legs, so he may be going for that 12-minute sort of pressure play on Bbyong. Because, I mean, obviously the Terran player going for Triple M, he's got to be expecting the Protoss player to go for Colossus, to shoot off to High Templar as fast as he can, that sort of thing. And flying, committing all of his stuff to going for some sort of 12-minute attack with a lot of Zealots and Stalkers is actually, it looks like it may be what we're seeing here, because with 3 more gateways coming down, and near a 4th gateway, so that's going to be a 7 gate off 2 bases. Very, very fancy sort of tactic. It's sort of just it's like a 4 gate, except it's pushed off onto 2 bases. But we do have the medevac coming down here, and we do have a bunch of Marines in here, so splitting up very, very nicely. Going to be able to save most of those guys, and meanwhile they're pushing in and overcharging the Nexus, but I do not think that flying can actually save this, and just managing to destroy it at the very last second. Brilliant, brilliant attack by Bbyong there, and managing to get the rest of his forces in the medevac back up to the main base, where he can start to take off a lot of workers, or at least see the tech that's going off here. He sees the Templar archives, and flying all over the place right now, trying to defend both sides of his base. These guys just very indecisive, don't know what to defend, this side or that side. And the fact is, I don't think flying can split up his force and still take out these guys. He managed to take out this force, and now he's going to see this force off, but yeah, it's just not enough. I mean, even if this Observer is going to die to the missile turret, so flying right now just really, really hit hard there. Pushed back so far. He didn't lose any workers almost, but the Nexus going down is going to cut down his income quite a bit. And Bbyong, if he can just keep the advantage, he could really start to do some major amounts of damage in the next couple of minutes. Just keep the pressure on and really, really do a good job. You see he's spread out his force here, but he's still going to be worried about the medevac. I'm a little bit surprised he's not getting this guy to sort of patrol a little bit to try and cover this gap. But Bbyong really, really abused this gap quite nicely. So here we go, Warp Prism coming in, but unfortunately Bbyong is going to see that, and the Warp Prism is going to get taken out. Not good at all. Flying's going to be pushing out, but I'm not sure if this is a good decision. He sees the forces out here, and he's going to be pushing instead to try and cut these guys off. He does have Archons out on the field, and Archons are really going to help him take out these forces, but they are still slow, and the medevacs are so fast. Here we go, nice bit of forces coming over there. The Observer moving up, only seeing 2 Marauders. Does he realise that forces are coming back? I don't think so. He's pushing out all of his forces out here to try and finish these guys off, but the medevac is already at the top of his base, and the Zealot's already here. Looks like he got a feedback off on one of the medevacs. Meanwhile, the main force chasing away this medevac manages to survive, so that's pretty good. And the High Templar getting almost sniped out, but too many Zealots in the front, pressuring those ground units. Meanwhile though, Bbyong getting a third base down, and he is ahead on the worker count now, so he's in a very, very good position. And Flying has had his back up against the wall for the longest time now. Although congratulations on the upgrades, getting level 3 upgrades. He's already got level 2, so that is not easy to do, especially when your back is up against the wall. There we go, taking a medevac down, and that force is finally going to get taken out, so that's pretty nice. Going to be knocking these guys down and starting to heal them up, but those feedbacks have been doing quite a bit of damage to the medevacs. He's got a lot more forces coming in there. This is a very, very nice force. And Flying, he's got a ton of Immortals coming out. Well, not a ton, this is actually his first one, I think, but he's got a ton of Archons as well. And in a one-on-one, all your forces versus all my forces, I feel like Flying has a decent chance, but the problem is he has never seen that one-on-one thing. It's always been a nice split. Flying, Bbyong, sorry, has always pushed him up the back. There's only 2 Hellbats though, so I feel like he doesn't need to push his main force back to try and defend this. He can just get some reinforcements in there. The Zealot's doing a pretty good job. There we go, there's Hellbats coming in there. The Zealot is actually attacking the Assimilator. That was a bit of a miss-micro there, but yeah, not good. Going to be able to hold that off, and the main army coming out here. I don't know. He does know about the third base. Of course, he just attacked it 5 seconds ago. Of course, Flying knows about the third base. So yeah, the pylon getting taken out. Very nice job there by Bbyong, and Flying getting his own third base. But with this Viking over there, could potentially spot that at any point. Still got a nice observer there to kind of see the forces moving out. And Flying, I'm not so sure he can be confident of taking this army out straight up anymore. There's a lot of Marauders in there, and Marauders are going to be extremely good versus the Immortals once they get the shield down. And the Archons, they're good, but I really don't know anymore. I mean, definitely this is not the sort of army that Colossus and Storms are good against. So what Flying is doing right now, getting the Immortals out, getting the Archons out, is going to be good. And in fact, going for Colossus is going to cause him some issues right now, because yeah, his Colossus army is not what he needs right now. He needs more Archons, he needs more Immortals, and he's going to see this army and maybe choose to go for a ton more Immortals at this point. But yeah, here he goes. He sees the full army here. He sees all the Marauders and Hellions, and I can imagine that from here on he's going to go for a ton more units that are good against Marauders and Hellbats. And yeah, I would not be surprised to see him sort of face off the Colossus a little bit, or yeah, I don't know, just keep going for them. I guess Colossus, the splash damage is still enough if you've got enough of them to actually wipe out these guys, especially if they're stimming. But they're going to be pushing in here. He's pushed back to he was thought about taking his entire army back, and the probes hopelessly getting taken out there. And he's got a good position here, but I don't know if Bbyong is going to push into it. Looks like he is going to try to, and a single Colossus going to help him out. Actually, I can definitely see how the Colossus could really be helping here, but if Bbyong managed to get a couple of ghosts in there, and the EMP is doing so much damage, and there we go. Bbyong just going to completely overwhelm him, and the rest of the forces managing to hold off, but it's just not going to be enough here. Might be able to hold this attack, but he is not going to win the game at this point. Flying is just too far behind, and Bbyong is too far in front. So congratulations to Bbyong for a very well fought victory. And yeah, this has been your Daily Masters today. So thank you very much for watching this game, and stay tuned tomorrow for another Daily Masters. This has been Hairy Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this game.